I asked Kyle Shanahan to assess himself today. He didn't feel like doing it, so we'll do it for him. What's up? Welcome to 49ers After Dark. That's Jessie Naylor. I'm Grant Cohn. The 49ers have one more game, but Brock Purdy's season's over. The meaningful part is over. So I think it's not too early to start giving out some grades, some assessments for the most important people in the organization. But before we do, everyone wants to talk about quarterbacks, what the Niners should do. Should they bring back Brock? Is there an alternative? Is there someone else? Jesse, hit us with it. Surprise us with someone we're not thinking about.
So this one was dropped to me by David. You know David.
Oh, for sure.
And I've been very clear. Like, I don't want to pay. I don't think the 49ers should pay Brock. But I also don't see like the immediate option to replace him. Like, yes, Kirk Cousins is out there and Rodgers and all these other names. I'm good. Like, he's a good quarterback. And especially at the salary he's on, figure out exactly what he is, then figure out if you want to pay him or not. However, today, the Minnesota Vikings, it came out that they probably are going to keep Sam Darnold. And if that is the case, JJ McCarthy might be available. And if he were to become available, people believe he would be the best draft prospect. If he were coming out this year, would be the best draft prospect of all the quarterbacks that are going to be available. So if that is the case, he might get traded. They might be able to get a first-round pick. And if you look at Minnesota's situation, they have their first-round pick, and I think they have 2 fifth-round picks. That's it in this year's draft. So they might be willing to talk McCarthy with other teams. And if that is the case, why not kick the tires on trading the 11th pick for McCarthy, trading Purdy, probably not for a first because the team's going to have to pay him a ton of money. But let's say the Raiders, the Saints, somebody like that.
Did you say trade Purdy?
Second-round pick. Yes.
I did not expect you to say that.
Only in this scenario. Only in this scenario.
My respect for you just went way up. I had no idea. And I already respected you like a 99 out of 100. Wow.
Now it's a 101 out of 100. Only in this scenario, if you got JJ McCarthy. So then in this scenario, you would trade Purdy for the second round pick. Then you would have 2 picks in the top, like 35-ish, 40-ish, whatever. And the kicker is, also not a big fan of this one, but in this scenario, go get Kirk Cousins at the vet minimum to help JJ McCarthy move him along and also compete with him just to make sure that you got at least one really good year of a starter. The reason I like this is not because JJ McCarthy is going to be better than Brock. We don't know that. But what I can say is if JJ McCarthy is 85% of Brock at worst, which I think he definitely can be that, and you can reset the clock on big time money for a quarterback, that is worth it. It's not, to me, the question is not, okay, replacing Brock and who are you going to find better? No. It's replacing Brock, finding somebody that's as 85% as good as Brock, but way cheaper than Brock and what he's going to be, and building the team around him to be great, much like you did with Brock initially, much like you did with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is maybe 85% as good as what Brock is, and they were able to win with him. So why not JJ McCarthy if you reset the clock? I thought it was an interesting scenario. I hadn't thought of it at all. And David ran that one by me. I was like, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued by this.
I think I absolutely love the idea. I'm kind of mad I didn't think of it myself, but I'm not surprised I didn't think of it myself because I'm the kind of person who would think of like signing Zach Wilson or drafting Kellen Mond. Tom Jensen says Tennessee, Cleveland, New York Giants could deal their one for McCarthy over picking Shador or Ward.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that this is likely at all, Tom. I mean, in fact, it's very unlikely, but it is a scenario that I had not even considered until today.
So we know that Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, probably going very high in the draft, although there's noises that like they're not true top 5 prospects, that they're going to go sort of by default because quarterbacks always get pushed up the board. But like last year, they would have been not nearly as picked as high. So there's that. And then there's maybe JJ McCarthy being available. That's a third. And then there's Drew Aller. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah. Now, he said that he was going to stay in college, but listen, they keep winning games in the playoffs here, and he
And
keeps
scouts
playing
keep
well.
going to see him.
He may come out, and that would be helpful in this scenario as well.
So you're telling me that there's a possibility, perhaps an increasing possibility as the days go by, that the Niners could spend that 11th pick on a quarterback?
Listen, I don't know how big the possibility is, but I do like I like resetting the clock on the quarterback situation personally. I would love to have another 5 years or 4 years in the JJ McCarthy scenario of inexpensive quarterback play, building the best roster possible, and seeing if that next guy could be the franchise guy. And if not, doing it all over again. Like, I'm fine doing it all over again and paying guys minimal money if you don't have the right guy at quarterback. And I've been very clear. Brock is not the right guy at quarterback. He's not franchise caliber. He's not worth paying big time money to. And you're not going to win a Super Bowl if you do that. So, yeah, if you can reset the clock, I would love to do that.
Now, he's coming off a torn ACL, correct?
Yeah, I think it's an ACL. Yep.
But that's not necessarily like a career debilitating injury for a quarterback. What's nice about McCarthy, and I'm sure you can speak about him at with more detail, but played for Harbaugh, played in a pro style offense. So you know right now that he would fit the Niners offensive philosophy. He was in a run first offense in college. He was under center. He could do the play action. He's athletic. He's bigger than Brock. He's probably faster than Brock. He has a stronger arm than Brock. I'm not saying he's better than Brock, but there's a lot to work with there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying he will be better than Brock, but I am pretty confident he can be in this offense 85% of what Brock is, and that's all you need at that price. At that price, that's all you need. You're not asking him to be better than Brock, especially not right away. And there's no guarantee he's great. That's really not the point. The point is, can you reset the clock? And can maybe JJ McCarthy end up being the guy? Sure. I'm not saying he will be, but I'm pretty confident Brock is not the guy. So if you don't have the guy, you've always got to be searching for the guy. And if in 4 years, JJ's not the guy, that's fine. Do the same thing with him that you're doing with Brock. Just keep resetting the clock.
And it's like, I know people will be like, well, you can't trade Brock because you win with Brock. No, you don't. You literally don't. I mean, he's 6-10 in his last 16 games. So there's absolutely reason to think about not giving him a ton of money, not locking yourself into a quarterback whose arrow is pointed down, and getting a guy who's a first round pick and has potential. He's 21 years old, JJ McCarthy. 21. I mean, you know what? I'm sold. This is what I want to happen. I want JJ McCarthy on the 49ers. I want JJ McCarthy on the Niners, and I want Jake Moody on the Chargers. Redemption story.
Well, they've got a pretty good kicker over there themselves. I don't think they're going to go for that.
Oh, that's too bad.
But as far as like what's interesting about this whole like Purdy and Kyle Shanahan situation this year, the 49ers have actually had worse injury seasons than what they've had this year. The difference has been when their starting quarterback has played, they've made it to the playoffs and made it to at least the NFC Championship. This is the first time in the Shanahan era that he's had a losing season with his starting quarterback playing this season. So that is something new. So, yeah. I mean, the whole he wins, not anymore, at least not right now.
People said, like, this is 2020 redux. Like, in 2020, the backup quarterback started 10 games and Nick Bosa missed 14. This year he missed 3 and Purdy missed 1 is about to miss 2. Nah, this year was worse. It's harder to explain why this year happened than 2020.
Yeah, most certainly is.
So
in 2019, they had a ton of injuries in 2019 too.
That's true. Staley went down. McGlinchey went down. I mean, a lot of people went down that season. All right. So today I asked Kyle Shanahan question. I don't know. I was sitting there. I didn't plan on doing this, but everyone was like asking stories about Bobby Turner, and it was kind of annoying me because it's like, hey, wait a second. This is a press conference for a coach who's 6-10. Why not? How about one question where he doesn't feel super comfortable because he's 6-10? I feel like most coaches in the NFL have to sweat a little bit at 6-10. I didn't see any perspiration, Jesse. Not one bead of sweat. So I asked him to assess himself, which is not even that hard of a question. It's kind of a softball question, and it gave him an opportunity to like be a leader and be like, no, this wasn't my best season. And I'm not going to tell you why, but I'm definitely thinking about it. And next year it's going to be a better version of me. People would have freaking loved that if he had said it. His players might have loved it. Instead, he kyled and said, I don't really understand the question and I'm working hard. And that's about it. So,
and he laughed at it like, oh, who are you to question me? Do you know how good I am?
Don't you know who I am?
Wow,
kind of a big deal. Okay. So I think it's fair to say that this was not a good year for Kyle Shanahan and that he's done better in the past. So how would you assess the job he did? Some things were out of his control. Some things weren't. And finally, at the end, maybe we could give him a grade.
Man, well, first of all, I do want to talk about the way he answered that question. He did answer the question without realizing it, because he said, well, the way you phrase it was, are you disappointed in your performance this year? And he laughed. And then he said, well, I'm disappointed in a lot that's happened around this team, the results, and I'm responsible for everything. So take that how you will, or something along those lines. But that's basically him saying like, yeah, I am disappointed because I'm disappointed in the results. And if I'm responsible for everything, then you're disappointed in your performance, I guess, even though you answered it a little bit strange. So kudos to him for saying he's responsible for everything, I guess. As far as how would I assess him? I mean, gosh, I feel like there are times where Kyle Shanahan really starts to turn a corner. And there was a point this year where he took some blame. And it was like the second time that I can actually remember him being like, yeah, that was me. That was my fault. And I'm like, gosh, I don't know. Like maybe he is starting to figure it out. And then he came out after the Bills game, remember, and was super humble. It's like, gosh, he really might be changing. And then it's like you have all these things that happen with the team that he's so responsible for. I mean, George Kittle himself said that I think it was George Kittle that said that team resembles Dan Campbell, like that they exude Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also the 49ers. They exude Kyle Shanahan. Mm-hmm. Kyle Shanahan often likes to skirt responsibility, at least publicly. Mm-hmm. And his team also likes to skirt responsibility, at least publicly. Mm-hmm. This is a team that is arrogant at every turn. And even down the stretch, you've got Jawan Jennings being very arrogant after that game. Like, oh yeah, look at, I took that DB and ran him into the ground and all these other things. And so because of all the almost not off the field issues, but just some of the sidebar things that have happened from training camp all the way through now, from the way that this team has spoken, from the sideline incident with Debo and the special teams, to the players not being signed on time and not being in camp, to the short situation, to everything. D, I have to give them a D. And those are the things that I'm looking at. Like, a lot of teams don't win. It happens. But is the team showing fight? And does it look like they are really dialed in at the very least? Some teams don't show fight and they don't show that they're dialed in. The 49ers have shown fight. Like, I'll give him credit for that. But man, they don't seem like they've been dialed in from day one of training camp. And I think that much is pretty clear at this point.
I agree. I think D's a fair grade because, like, there have been moments where he has put the team in position to win, and frankly, Purdy's blown it. I mean, week 3 against the Rams, he had Ayuk open, wasn't it? Ayuk open deep over the middle, and Purdy didn't throw the ball. Yeah. He dialed up that long play for Ronnie Bell that he dropped. Like, he's had moments where you could say, all right, well, he did his job here, and his quarterback simply let him down. And there's something to be said about that, because without Christian McCaffrey carrying everything, they needed Brock to be the man this year, and he wasn't. But from, like, really letting the culture of the team deteriorate majorly to the point where you had people, like, kind of almost wanting to be on the Lions, at least the way they talked about him. Like, oh man, they seem like they have fun. It doesn't seem like the Niners have fun anymore. It doesn't seem like his offense, his scheme, which is the main reason he's the head coach in the NFL. It doesn't seem like his scheme's quite as effective as it used to be, which might be an understatement. I mean, the red zone in particular is not good. Yeah, I mean, Of all the coaches who didn't get fired this year, it's hard to name one who did a worse job.
You said the coaches that didn't get fired?
Yeah, the coaches who still have their job. I mean, all the guys who got fired, yeah, for sure. But the guys who didn't get fired, I mean, who did worse than him this year? Like Antonio Pierce did a really bad job, but no one expected him to do great. People thought Kyle would be in the Super Bowl or close to it. And he's 6-10.
Grant, at the beginning of the season, they were favorites in every game. Remember?
Everyone.
They would literally every game, and they were Super Bowl favorites in the NFC and maybe even the NFL. I don't remember the odds between them and the Chiefs, but like they were the favorite. And every week, even up till this last week, it was like, oh, they're only a 3.5-point underdog after everything we've seen. Everything we've seen. Now that almost played out, but still, they get so much grace from the bettors and all, and that tells you how the league views this team and Kyle Shanahan. So yeah, they've been a massive disappointment, but it's not only that. Like, yeah, he's done a good job at times with his play calling, sure, but that's not being the head coach. Like the moment that CMC was back, it's like everything's CMC. We're running him into the ground. The moment that Dre Greenlaw's back, running him into the ground, it's like, man, you just so many bad decisions, man. Even this last week where you're down, Moody's clearly got the yips, and you run him out there for a 58-yarder.
Dude, what? The Moody thing alone, dude. How do you let a kicker have this kind of a negative impact on it's the easiest position to replace. How do you do this? And I feel like you're losing confidence from your players when you stick by this guy. Because you're like, what? We're giving our best effort and he blows it and you excuse it? And then to me, like the whole Debo story this year, like he clearly was having a down year. Not only that, but he was part of the problem with the culture attacking Jake Moody and Tabor Pepper. And you enabled him every step of the way. You made excuses for him. You kept feeding him the ball when it was clear from a pure football perspective, the offense would be better with less Debo, not more Debo. And then finally in week 17, he gives Debo 1 target and Pearsall 10 and it works. And Pearsall looks good. And there's like so many examples. Pearsall not playing until the very end. D. Winters not playing over Devondre Campbell all season. I mean, and on and on and on and on and on. Like, what is that stuff?
I don't know, man. It's crazy. But this is, and it's, Kyle has like his isms where it's like, oh, that's just Kyle being Kyle. And we joke about it. But most of it is not positive when we say that. And we know it. We all know it's going to happen. We all knew that when CMC was back, he was going to run him every freaking play. And we made a joke.
We talked about it in the 4-man front. When Dre Greenlaw came back, we were like, oh, this will be great. They'll have a package for him. I was like, what are you talking about? Never. No.
I don't know, man. It's frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan, for sure. It's frustrating.
The one thing, though, that's nice about Kyle Shanahan is that he's so predictable. Like, he doesn't really throw you off. He doesn't do things that make you question whether you know him. It's like, nah, man, you're entering year 9. I've known you for almost 10 years of my life. I know what you're going to do. So at least there's that. He's consistent. Why did Kyle Shanahan call 16 straight passes in the second half against because he's Kyle Shanahan. What are you talking about? He'll do it again. He'll do it again. All right. Look, so we got Kyle. What about Brock Purdy? It's not like he was making Kyle look great this year. Now, Kyle used to make his life a lot easier. Christian McCaffrey certainly made his life a lot easier in the past. It was a tougher season for Brock. Really struggled in the second half of games. He threw some awful interceptions when they needed him to like not throw awful interceptions. So how would you assess his season?
I mean, it to me, it all comes from what's the baseline of the conversation. I think at this point, the baseline of the conversation is we're judging him on, is he a franchise caliber quarterback or is he not? Again, you know, if we're judging him off of, yeah, he's a decent starting caliber quarterback and he was the last pick in the draft, it's like, yeah, probably a B+ season because what the hell else would you expect? But we're talking about a player here that's supposed to be the franchise guy, that his agent is in people's DMs saying, we're not taking the Baker Mayfield deal. Absolutely not. And then for 3 straight games after that, we watch him piss away games with interceptions down the stretch. Like, Okay. So if that's how we're judging him, then C-. I mean, there were some good things. Even in this last game, man, that throw to
Yeah.
Garindo was arguably the best throw he's ever made.
Super
Great
nice.
throw.
Yep.
But then it's like, man, 2 picks, an underthrow to Pearsall. It's like, man, there's just no consistency. And when games are on the line, no consistency. When there's bad weather, you're not playing well. And your right
When it's
arm
man
cannot stay
coverage.
healthy. Yeah, it's just there's so much, man. There's just so many red flags. And it's like, you know what I feel like? I feel like if you're a 49er fan that's just like, yeah, man, Brock's the guy, or you're the organization, or you're people in the organization, you're like, yeah, Brock's the guy. We got to pay him. I feel like, and we've all had this friend that's had a really bad relationship, but they're so in love and they can't see it. And you're like, dude, like, she's not good for you. Let me tell you, there's this, there's that. No, no, no. You don't understand our relationship. You just don't understand. And then it's like, okay, well, at some point we can't even tell you anymore because you're delusional about it. So we just talk about how bad your relationship is amongst us, but you're in a really bad relationship. And then eventually when you break up with her, you're like, dude, you were so right. And you start like telling us all the things that we saw and said all along. Like, that's what I feel like is happening with Brock Purdy. It's like, there's so many red flags and everybody's like, yeah, but no, that's not that big of a deal. I mean, look at all these other great things that Brock does. We should just pay him whatever. I mean, look how bad it's been in the past. Like, no, man, there's so much going wrong. So I don't know. C- is what I would give Brock.
It's such an interesting year for me. I mean, it's such an interesting year for him to me because we understand his numbers being down. Ayuk's gone. McCaffrey's gone. And when Ayuk was here, he wasn't really Ayuk because he wasn't in football shape. So obviously it was tougher this year. But still, I think we would have liked to see him not be a complete flop in the fourth quarter or second half of these close games. Like, there's so many examples of him being the reason they lost when he didn't need to be. Or it would have been like all he needed to do was score 13 points against the Rams and the rest of the season would have been forgiven. That's how low the bar was. Score 13 points against the Rams. But no, he threw that pick into triple coverage at the end while they were in field goal range. Like, and on and on and on. Like, every single time they were in a close game in the fourth quarter in Miami with the season over, it seemed like he choked. He choked in 2 games that didn't count down the stretch. And I'm starting to look at him as a guy who, like, he's fine when they're up big. He's fine in the first half, but he's not good under pressure, which means he's not going to be the kind of guy who brings you back. And that means he's not a franchise quarterback. So not good enough. D+.
So there's a lot of talk about Kyle Shanahan's play calling, and deservedly so, the 16 straight passes. But a lot of that was like when they were down 2 scores as well, right? And so you look at like what led up to that. There was probably like a 9 pass stretch where it's like, okay, you probably could have added a run in somewhere. But the league average in pass attempts is like 32-ish. Brock Purdy has 15 career games where he's thrown at least 30 passes. So not even league average, just 30 passes.
We're not talking
You
40.
realize,
yeah,
not 40, not you have to go shoulder, just 30 or more passes.
These are shootouts. Okay? Yeah.
You're right. So where we're asking you to be the guy. So we have the fourth quarter stat where it's like, dude, if the game's close one way or another, you're not playing well. But the other stat we can look at is when you're asked to go be the reason to go win games. In 15 career games with 30 plus attempts, he's had 0 interceptions in just 3 of those games. He's had multiple interceptions in 6 of those 15 games, Grant. Like, when you're asked to be the reason, you are not the reason that you're winning. You're the reason, or at least adding to the reason that they're not winning. You can't be the reason that they're not winning. And that's what he's been this year. He's contributed in a negative way too many times over. You can blame the offensive line. You can blame whatever you want to blame.
The kicker.
But is he contributing in a positive manner or is he not? And when you're turning the ball over at this rate in crucial situations, you are not contributing in a positive manner. You're just not.
Yeah, when you have more interceptions and touchdown passes in the second half for your career, that's a problem. It happened this year. It's been a trend since he's got here. When they can pile up big leads in the first half, he's good. But a lot of quarterbacks would be good. I mean, again, he's gotten so much credit for being better than Trey Lance and being better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Although the season that Brock Purdy just had was statistically a Jimmy Garoppolo copy and paste job. And frankly, in terms of the win-loss record, Jimmy never, ever had a season like this.
Do you remember what we used to say about Jimmy? Like, what was the joke about Jimmy? You came up with it. It was
he was the arsonist and the firefighter.
But he was the firefighter.
Yes, he was. There was something about
Brock
that freaking mediocre quarterback where he was kind of clutch because he didn't remember that. He literally forgot. He would show up to the scene of the crime and be like, who freaking did this? I want to know. You should point him out. It's like, Jimmy, it was you. What? No, I was eating dinner. No, Jimmy, you came here with a flamethrower. But then he would put it out. It was incredible.
Yeah. He's super bipolar. He had no idea, actually. Split personality, everything.
You know what one of the best things about week 18 coming up? He's going to play. I can't wait. It's been a while. I miss Jimmy Garoppolo. And part of me wants the Jimmy Garoppolo redemption story. Like, I know it's going to be a bad movie, but I'll spend $15 to watch Jimmy Garoppolo too. You know what I mean? It's like Bad Boys 5. It's like, okay, they're 55 and they can't really fight crime like they used to, but it's the same jokes and they're funny. I want to watch Jimmy Garoppolo 2, 3.
So looking forward to it.
It's too bad that he couldn't play against the Niners, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. Okay, final thing with Kyle and Brock. Who will outlast whom on the 49ers? Brock or Kyle?
So Brock, when you say Brock, starting quarterback, right? Like Brock has to be the starter, he can't just like if he gets benched, like he hasn't outlasted Kyle, right? He may still be on the roster, but he's been benched.
There's a world where Brock is the long-term backup for some other quarterback on this team. That's crazy.
I'm just throwing
okay, fair enough. Yeah, let's do it your way. Yes,
okay.
That's fine.
So Brock has to be the starter, and not because of injury, but Brock has to be the starter, and Kyle has to be the head coach. Okay, I think Kyle's gonna outlast Brock. I know this sounds crazy. I thought there would be no way that is possible. No way. But damn it, man! Like Kyle's gonna find a way to not take the responsibility, and they'll win enough next year to get to the playoffs, and everything will be good. That'll reset his clock. And I have a feeling, man, Kyle's going to be the head coach of this team for a very long time. And I don't know that Brock's going to be the quarterback. Even if he gets paid, I'm still going to go with Kyle.
I think you're right. It's possible that if the Niners start over, they just start over and move on from both of them. But I don't see a coach that's looking at Brock and saying, you know what? I could do a lot better with that little guy than Kyle Shanahan is. Like, I could do better. I could see Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell looking at Jared Goff being like, he's not the problem with the Rams. Let's just give him a better offensive line. That's the number one pick. He's got an incredible arm. That's easy to put that together. Same with Sam Darnold. But with Brock, Mr. Irrelevant, some guys being like, Kyle can't do it. I can do better with that skill set. I don't know about that. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. And also, the Niners are going to trade Brock this offseason and get JJ McCarthy, and then they're going to win the Super Bowl. So, I'm all in with that, baby. I mean, JJ McCarthy he's a champion.
Oh,
he's a champion. Hey, baby, JJ McCarthy could get Jake Moody to lock in too, former teammates.
Oh, he probably could.
The best out of Ronnie Bell.
Oh, well, I was going to say Ronnie Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be relevant all of a sudden.
I freaking love that idea. That's David Lichty's idea.
Yeah, it was a great idea, man.
Shout out to David. That's a great idea. Why not? Why freaking not? I'm over here talking myself into trading up for Shadur Sanders. Like, no. No. Just trade 11 for JJ McCarthy if you can. 11. And what if they like 11's not enough? You got to throw a player in too. One player, even though those never happen in the NFL. But let's say this is the first one that ever happened. Who's it going to be?
You can JJ. I'll give you Debo and Juice.
Yeah, come on. He could be. Would he even be in their top 3 wide receivers over there? They got Jessie Naylor as their number 3 wide receiver right now. He's pretty good.
He is pretty good. Spells his name differently, slightly.
Slightly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've got what's his name that's probably going to retire? Like Harrison Smith's getting a little long in the tooth. Maybe they can have like Jair Brown or something. I don't know.
That's totally fair. Drake Jackson. I like that. Let's get it done.
Yeah, Drake Jackson.
All right, let's go through the super chats. Bloodnut says future headline: Shanahan offers any team 3.5 first round picks to take Moody off their hands. Love this show, guys. Best on the tube. Thank you, Bloodnut.
3.5 first round picks. Great.
Brother Bob's been a member for 20 months. Anti Kyle Levy. He says trade Brock and go with Dobbs. Nose system and cheap. Dobbs is going to create a quarterback controversy this weekend. I can't wait for it. I'm going to be there to watch, to witness the beginning of the Dobbs era. How many times are you going to throw to Juwan Jennings in this game? 20? They're teammates from college, and they got to get Jennings to 100 to 1,000 yards. He just might break the record for catches in a game. Can't wait. Dave Barclay says, healed from surgery. Damn, I feel good. Hashtag trade Lyle. Damn, it feels good to be a gangsta, says Dave Barclay. Thank you.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangsta.
I love that song. Oh, man. Only people who know Office Space know what we're talking about. Daniel Stello says, why are media questions to Kyle so bad? Is the media really that soft, or do they only ask questions they believe Kyle will answer? I don't want to get in trouble. These are my colleagues. You can go ahead.
I don't know why they're so bad. It is funny, though. There's like obviously a segment of the fan base that just like really hates Grant. And so that anytime a player or Kyle dunks on Grant, like that's their story. But there's another segment of the fan base that really wants answers to these questions. And that's where I think Kyle's a little bit tone deaf and not realizing like this is your opportunity to address concerns that the fans have. And when you crap on whatever reporter, and he's not done it not just to you, he's done it to other people as well. But when you crap on these reporters and it's like, well, that's a good question. Like, I want to know the answer. You're kind of crapping on the fan base and some of the answers they want to know. And without realizing it, you're kind of driving a wedge in the fan base. And that's why there's so many people that are like, get him out of here, because they don't feel like they're brought into the culture the way that Jim Harbaugh once did. So, and I've also talked to content creators that cover the Jets and some other teams. And I'm like, hey, like, what would rate Grant, like 1 being easy peasy, 10 being the hardest asking question guy of all time? What would he look like in the media room for your team? They're like a 3, like Grant, nothing if he was here covering the Jets. So
a Californian, man. Are you kidding? There'd be like New Yorkers and people from New Jersey and Philly who are nuts. Like, yeah, I don't think I would really hold a candle to them, but out here I'm controversial.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I want one more thing. Like, I don't think that these media people, my colleagues, are sitting there being like, man, Kyle sucks, but I don't have the guts to ask the question. I think they genuinely feel he's a good coach. And I think we're seeing more and more beat writers like have YouTube channels and sort of express their opinions, even when they're maybe don't traditionally in their writing. And we know that most of these beat writers think that he's a good coach, and maybe they're right. Maybe he is. I don't know. It seems like it's still kind of a minority opinion among media people to say like Kyle's the problem with this team. And so if they lose again next season, I think we would get more questions like that from the Matt Mayokos of the world. But right now, I think they're chalking it up to a down season, and maybe they're right. I don't know. I don't think they're right, but maybe they are.
I mean, it could be, but that's also 4 and 8 years.
Yeah, it is. And we're not just talking losing seasons. We're talking 10 losses. Sean Payton's never had a 10-loss season, ever. Just saying. Willie Reynolds, I floated the McCarthy trade on you guys, 4-man show last night and coach's show the night of the Niners-Lions game. Oh, you want credit. No, I thought of it first.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a great idea if that's the case. Yeah, for sure.
Dave Barclay says, Dobb wins Sunday 7-10. No one's seen it coming. He will be the one quarterback with a winning record this year on the Niners. I can't wait. Brick equals Jimmy. Can we get anyone else? JJ, please, says Dave Barclay. People like the JJ idea. Official B&M Music 88 says Niners equals quarterback. Polygamy, the best quarterback, is the next quarterback. Quarterbacks are like buses. Just wait 15 minutes, the next one's coming. Mufasa says that. What will the storyline be if Dobbs balls out?
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
We will. Lorenzo Gonzalez says, besides PM, which big money quarterback has won Super Bowl in the last 10 years? Stafford. Although he got paid more after he won. Brady.
Yeah, I count Stafford because Jared Goff was also on the books. So it's like,
Yep. True.
Technically that was not all
True.
Stafford, but it was Stafford. So I count Stafford. Tom Brady was making good money. Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. Ryan Hart, first time on YouTube, been following you guys on Twitter. Appreciate your work. Happy New Year, fellas. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Dave says, off topic, good movies lately. Looking on Superbox. I have a suggestion. Favorite movie I saw in theaters this year? Anora. I'm not going to give any spoilers, though. It's a good movie. Highly recommend it. Anora.
I don't know. You watch Squid Games at all? Show,
I
not
watched
a
the
movie,
first one.
but
I heard the second one isn't as good.
It's definitely worth watching. And I think they're having the third and final season come out this year. And the way they left this one was a definite cliffhanger. I thought it was good. There's more story. It's more of a storyline in this one.
That sounds good. I'm into it. Rob Schneider says, can't even enjoy football anymore. Can't hit, can't cover, can't without flags. KC are the new Patriots. The NFL is rigged. 4 more Super Bowls for them.
I hope that Kansas City doesn't win just for the sake of like every fan that's not a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs this year. I feel like the whole league needs Kansas City to just not win a Super Bowl this year. That'd be great.
Sir Cash Money says, Sir Cash Money has been a member for 115 months. Wow. But then Dave Barclay says, Patriot Builders of Montana have been members for 116 months.
Oh.
Brother Bob says, Scatty Boo looks like a younger late second sports. Last second sports.
John Dude, that Lee guy says, balled out today. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Crazy.
Is he going to be the Juszczyk replacement or the McCaffrey replacement? What number will the Niners give him when they inevitably draft him?
Give him 44. Give him 44.
Give him 44. John Lee says, rewatching from the beginning, but JJ McCarthy had a meniscus surgery, not an ACL. And the reporter who said it was an ACL is straight stupid with 2 O's. And he didn't get 2 surgeries. It was 1 surgery. That is great to know.
Was it meniscus? Oh, it was. He is right. It is meniscus. I remember because, okay, so when you have a meniscus tear, you can either get it trimmed, which only would be like a few weeks. Like I had a meniscus tear. I had a surgery this year. I was walking in 2 days. So like that's real. But if you get it repaired, it's like a 6-month deal. And you want to get it repaired because you don't want to end up bone on bone. So that is what happened. It was a meniscus. It wasn't an ACL. He's right about that. I forgot.
Good knowledge. Dave Barclay, you guys know Jess is on OnlyFans hiding stuff.
This one started last night. I do a roundtable show, and somehow one of the fans of like the Rams was like, man, Jess, something about an OnlyFans. So here I am. I guess I've got an OnlyFans.
I guess you got spotted. Dave Barclay says, does Scatty Bo have an OnlyFans page with pasties on? Wow. That's wow. Thank you, Dave.
Very graphic of you.
Helperman 123 says, Lyle's grade G for gone, Brock's grade C, QC, F minus. I could have done better this year. I definitely didn't have a positive impact on the team in any way. I was the John Lint. Sorry. Dave Barclay says, can't get Jess OnlyFans pick out of my head. Burned in. He's having a moment. Lyle says it all him, no matter who. Brick 86th. This fella says, I'm just, this guy says to Grant, at least Jesse says my name. I love you, Jesse.
Why we don't know what it is? I don't even know.
How were you sitting in your living room one day and be like, you know what? This is my name from now on. This is it. I don't want to say it. I don't like it. It's icky.
Because I don't understand it. I feel like there's something just off about it. You're going to be canceled for saying his name one of these times.
I don't want to say it.
No idea what it is.
9P says zero context on Brock's down year versus Jimmy's playoff year. 24, Jimmy had the Avengers minus CMC. Brock had half of that. Not a BP homer, but Jesus, Grant. Jesus.
24?
What does Jesus have to do with this? Jesus died for your sins, 9Ps. So just leave him out of it right now. Let's talk about the 49ers, okay? Let's talk context. 2021, the year that Jimmy put up the exact same numbers that Brock just put up, Jimmy went 10-7.
Yeah.
So, hey, when Jimmy balls out this weekend, don't forget that I've always been a big Jimmy Garoppolo guy. Always believed in him. Don't forget.
Love Jimmy.
Love him. That being said, he ain't our franchise either. Says
Well done. Well done.
John Alvarado says trade Kyle to Chicago for 2 firsts, Purdy to the Raiders for a first, move up for Sanders or Ward, sign Ben Johnson. Now we have money to go spend. Trade Debo for a bag of chips. Thoughts? I want the chips. What chips are we talking?
Dude,
are we talking Sun
2
chips?
first-round picks, a new quarterback, 3 first-round
Doritos?
picks, a new quarterback. Wow. That'd be crazy.
If you got Doritos or Lay's on a table and you could choose which one are you going for?
Doritos.
All day.
Well, hold on. Cool. What are we talking about? Nacho?
Obviously
nacho
Cool
cheese
Ranch.
or Cool Ranch.
You're not a Cool Ranch kind of guy?
I am a Cool Ranch kind of guy, but I like
Oh my
nacho
God.
cheese better. Same.
Fair enough. B Cruisin 302 says, love it when Grant asks Kyle any questions, his smug face gets sarcastic. Brother Bob says, I would depose Kyle Levy. He's lucky I have no press credential. Dude, you're a tough one, man. Andrew Powell says, why do you think Ben Johnson will be a good head coach? He seems like another guy like McDaniel who can call plays but has no leadership skills. That's fair. I have no sense or feel for his personality or leadership ability. Don't know. Good question.
Yeah, there's no guarantee he would be great. But how do you know he has no leadership skills? I mean, I don't know.
He's been around Dan Campbell for a long time. Doesn't mean he can be Dan Campbell, but he's gotten a pretty good example of what a leader is. Got Honora pulled up. We'll check out after this. You're going to love it. I'm not going to say love, but you're going to like it very much. I highly recommend it. My PFP are my chickens. I'm trustworthy. All right, poop saggets. Thank you very much.
Canceled.
All right,
I'm tweeting
buddy,
right
if
now.
you want me
Cancel
to
Grant.
say
He
it.
said poop saggets.
Oh my God. It's just so close to something that sounds like something I should have never ever say. We're on that note. Thank you very much, Poop Sackets. We are sponsored by Sleeper over here. And this is the app. It's on my phone. I pulled it up. This is
Not
me
anymore, we're
showing
not.
you the phone. This is how it works to put in a little wager. Maybe that's not the word, but we're going to use it on Sleeper. They don't have the Niners yet. So why don't we do a game that actually matters? Minnesota and Detroit.
Man.
Jared Goff, who is he probably will get 0 MVP votes this year, but he's 14-2 and he's 3rd in passer rating. He's having hell of a year.
Whoever wins this game should be in the conversation between him and Sam.
So.
Whoever wins this game, yeah.
15 wins? Yeah. Okay, so Jared Goff, 275.5 passing yards. We could do touchdowns, completions, picks, attempts, whatever you like.
I'm going to go less on the passing yards.
Brian Flores is going to step up.
I think there's an outside chance that Montgomery comes back, and I think after this last week, they're just going to want to run the ball and try to play ball control. Their defense can't stop anything, and they have to be able to control the clock. So
that's a good point. I like where your head's at. That made a ton of sense. I'm taking your answer on that one and saving the money for myself. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. 284.5. Wow.
Whatever the number is, go with the more against that defense, please.
Good point. Good point. Jahmyr Gibbs could be back to splitting carries. You could do touchdowns. We could do yards.
What's his yards?
Rushing yards, 85.5. Kind of scary with Montgomery potentially coming back.
Yeah. Is it anytime touchdown? That means like either? Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Receiving.
Yes.
Okay. More.
Yep. I'm with that. That's a good one. Sleeper always gives, if you look through the Sleeper app, you can find things that work for you. Aaron Jones. No, I don't want to do him. Justin Jefferson. Yards. Touchdowns.
He's going to score in this game.
He's for sure.
How many yards?
91.5.
See, that's a number I'm not comfortable with.
It's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Addison. He's really good.
He is really good.
Will he score?
What's his yards?
63.
Oh, go with the more on that. I like that a lot better than
Jesse's on fire right now. Are you guys feeling the confidence?
I feel very confident, but that means we're probably going to miss out on at least 4 of these.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. 72 and a half yards or touchdown?
More on the yards.
Interesting. What about Jamison Williams? Can we get Jamison Williams? Boom, Jamison Williams. Touchdown, 58 and a half yards.
I feel like you can get the 58 and a half in one catch. He's a burner.
It's true. That's a good call. All right, that's 7. We can stop it at 7, although we might just want to add in Jay Naylor just for the sake of it. What do you think? Anytime touchdown, will he score? Will you score? This is Jesse's first touchdown, by the way.
I'll go less.
That's messed up. Your family member.
Sorry.
It's all right. Okay, those are the picks.
Last name the same.
Doesn't matter. Boom! Those are the picks. It's that easy. Go download the Sleeper app yourself. Use promo code Cohn, which I'm sure you have already, but if you haven't, use it and get entered to win a signed George Kittle jersey. I have possession of it. I'm giving it away. That's how you get it. All right, we got a little bit of time left.
With the certificate of authenticity, I see it.
With the certificate. Yeah. All right, give me one free agent the Niners absolutely must re-sign this offseason.
Gosh, man, I think the obvious answer is Dre Greenlaw, but I don't know that he's healthy. And also,
yeah,
I don't know that he's going to be that inexpensive. If he's healthy and he hits the open market and people like their doctors do the checkout on him, it's like he's going to make a lot of money. I mean, he's going to make, I don't know that he'll make like Roquan Smith, Fred Warner money, but I could see him making Patrick Queen money.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know that they're going to be able to bring him back. And at that price coming off of an injury, I don't know. I'm looking at that secondary though. And all of a sudden you've got Ward, who's probably going to be gone. They've got a major problem at one of those corner spots, at the other outside corner spot when they go nickel. And they have a problem with safety. Now, Ward is probably going to be too expensive. So I'll go with Hufanga. I mean, I think I don't know that you can lose 2 starters in that secondary and be okay. So I'll go with Hufanga. And also part of this is I think D Winters is good, man. He reminds me of a young Dre Greenlaw. They just got to figure out how to like rein him in and not have him over pursue. But as far as like what he brings to the team and being a thumper, he does remind me a lot of Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned about re-signing Dre Greenlaw, given what he's been through the last couple years. I wonder how much his body has left in it. How much does he have another 17 game season in him? I don't know. Hufanga has injury issues too, but he's younger, and I feel like he might be cheaper as well.
Too. A lot.
Yeah, like he hasn't played much the last 2 years, even though he was an all-pro and Greenlaw wasn't. I could see him actually signing a 1-year deal. I'm not sure Greenlaw necessarily. I'm sure the Niners would love him to sign a 1-year deal. I'm not sure they would offer him or should offer him a multi-year deal. And that could probably go for Hufanga too, but he might be willing to sign that 1-year deal. And it's clear they feel he's way better than Jair Brown. And if he leaves, I don't know that Jair Brown's starting next year or should be. So then they'd have to sign someone else. Yeah, like D Winters had a much better season than Jair Brown did.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Hufanga would be one. Can I tell you what he said to me in the locker room today? He's one of the one guys on the team that doesn't hate me for now. Maybe he did because we just re-signed him. Talano, you're still on the team. So he came by to me today, and I was like watching Dominic Pooney just like rain through. That guy is automatic. What a shooter. So I was like mesmerized. I was watching, and Talano Hufanga walked by me, and he's like, "Are you gonna pull if you get the ball again?" I guess he watched the video of me, and I was like, "Nah, man, I'm just trying to get my shooters involved. I'm just trying to get my teammates involved." And he was like, "Well, ask anyone on this team. I'm really good at basketball." I was like, "You're gonna have to play me to prove it." And then he gave me like the single eyebrow raise, like I'm not good at basketball. Like, hold on, basketball is so much more than shooting. I take defense very seriously, Talanoa. So if he ever wants to prove it, I will play one-on-one, but only defense. He can have the ball every single time, and I'll still win.
Like, could you imagine you just like come out there and you're just swatting the hell out of Talanoa Hufanga, stripping him.
Take it out up top, ball up top.
I don't know that he would recover from that.
No, I would tear both of my Achilles. Are you kidding? No. Okay,
I feel like you only have things to gain from this one-on-one matchup, by the way.
I think I would steal the ball from Talanoa at least twice. I'm telling you, I may look unathletic, but I played soccer and I'm 6'1" and I could stay in front of him. I think I could stay in front of him. And I used to play basketball about 15 years ago at UCLA against Lil Romeo, who went and played college basketball at USC. And no, I never actually did a good job against Lil Romeo, but we were on the court at the same time together, and there's something to be said for that. Me and Lil Romeo, who's not so little anymore. He's just regular Romeo now. Yeah. Okay. What is the biggest issue the Niners must address this offseason?
And I think that this offseason, they're going to have to prioritize depth. And they've kind of taken this approach the last couple of seasons. They've trended towards it where it's like a stars and scrub type of team where we've got all these stars. As long as they're healthy, we're good. But the moment that they're not, you can see the depth is not there in a lot of different places. I mean, even in the secondary where it's like, we look at the secondary like, oh my gosh, look at all the guys they signed. It's a really deep secondary. Well, all of a sudden Womack's off the team and he's doing really good somewhere else. And then you're playing Isaac Yadam and guess what? He's not really good. Like there's not a lot of depth there. Linebacker, there was not a lot of depth there. Defensive line, especially in the interior, not a lot of depth there. They need to prioritize depth and just getting good football players that you can throw out in waves at these teams and keep everybody healthy and in a rotation and fresh. That's when this team's at its best. You're going to face adversity. You're going to face injuries. They're in a position where they're probably going to pay Brock Purdy, and they've got a lot of other expensive contracts that are going to be getting bigger and escalating over the next few years. You can no longer get the big name free agents, but you can get good guys on the cheap and you can draft well and you can build up the depth. So no more stars and scrubs. It's all about prioritizing depth for this team.
I don't know if you felt this way during training camp, but I definitely felt like watching training camp, which is largely like a display, or I don't know what the word would be, for the depth. It's a lot of backups playing all day. You get a good look at them. It felt like this is the thinnest team they've had since Kyle's been here, or since they've been good. They got good in 2019. I felt like this was clearly the least deep team they had, and I think it played out that way. So I'm with you on that. I think the way they're going to approach this offseason is they're going to take offensive line very seriously, assuming they don't trade Brock Purdy for JJ McCarthy. Assuming they give Brock Purdy a ton of money and make the big investment that they did with Jimmy Garoppolo 5 years ago or whatever that was, 6 years ago. I think they'll look at it as we can't make this investment without investing in our offensive line as well. When they signed Jimmy in 2018, they went and signed Weston Richburg and then drafted Mike McGlinchey. Not that those were the greatest moves of all time, but at least that's how they operated. And I don't think they change anything about their operation. It's, gotten them 2 Super Bowl victories. So why change? I think that's probably going to be how they approach this one. Unless they trade for JJ McCarthy, which I'm all in for. I can't stress enough how much I like this idea.
I really like the idea too. And it's almost a 0% chance it's going to happen, but that I'm going to hang on to the 0.5% that it is a possibility. I really
Hell
like
yeah. Yes. Okay, last topic, and then we'll get some super chats and bounce. Will Brock Purdy lose money by not playing this Sunday? Is there a scenario where he comes out of this game after not playing even less rich than before?
Yeah, I think there's this thought like, man, the last 3 weeks, he's definitely cost himself some money. And I don't know that that's true. But I'll just look at it from like a stock
The whole
standpoint.
team struggling. It's hard to put it all on one person.
Right. But can his stock drop this weekend by not playing? On the surface, I would say no. But let's say that they win and Josh Dobbs plays really well.
Yeah. And doesn't throw 2 picks in the second half.
That can't be good for Brock. I mean, this team shouldn't look just as good, and especially not better with the backup quarterback it's still the same team with all the injuries. It's still a bad offensive line. It's still a bad defense. It's still all the things remain. And all you're doing is taking your franchise quarterback out and you're inserting the backup who was the third stringer for a big portion of this season. So if this team looks as good or better, that is not good for Brock Purdy. I don't care how you slice it. That can't be good. So yeah, I don't know that he'll lose money per se, but can his stock go down? Yeah, I think it can.
Let me ask you this. If Josh Dobbs throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and wins, will the Niners give him $60 million a year?
Absolutely not. He won't even be on the team next year.
I mean, those are good vibes. Good vibes. You win the last game of the year. Clearly, that means that you're going to lead the team the next year. I'm just saying, the Niners like making snap decisions and going with their heart.
He did have a Jimmy G moment last play against Seattle. Came in, got a touchdown last week, and then this week, if he can, I mean, this is his Jimmy G moment right here. You never know.
This is it. The Dobbs era. Yeah, you're right. Like this, Dobbs isn't really going to make himself much money in this performance, although it's a little bit of an audition for the rest of the league. Maybe he'll come back to the Niners. I doubt it. Again, I think he'd probably rather leave at this point. Do you think they promised him something and then they didn't? Anyway, yeah. But if he plays well, then you look at Brock and it's like, dude, you're the problem more than we realized. Maybe Kyle was scheming it open, and maybe you're a huge impediment, and they've taken you as far as they can, and you're not going to get. Yeah. So if I were Brock, I'd be rooting for Josh Dobbs because I'm a good guy. But secretly, if he did bad, I'd be like, oh, that's darn. Too bad. But secretly, I'd be like, okay, good, because I'm going to get paid a lot of money. But I don't want to say that.
What do you think it's going to look like this weekend with Dobbs? Do you think it is going to look good?
Kinda. Yeah. I think it's gonna. I mean, Arizona's not that good, and Jennings will be out there, and Pearsall's involved, and Debo's finally gotten kind of benched, and yeah, I don't think Dobbs is a good quarterback, but he's healthier than Brock, and he hasn't lost hella games this year. He may like have some confidence. I don't know. I can see it. And he was on the Cardinals, got the revenge factor. Don't forget the revenge factor. He is going to shove it in Jonathan Gannon's face. And Kyler's too. You thought you were better than me, Kyler? Why don't you put down the Xbox controllers and come see me on the football field? I don't know.
Pastor nuts. I don't know how it's going to look. Yeah, me neither. I don't know if I should trust this guy or not.
Dave says, let's dress up as T-Rexes and fight each other in the park. Oh, okay. I haven't done that in weeks. I don't know what you're talking about. Dave Barclay says, just realized more money in OnlyFans. Sickos. Hey, it's the world we live in. 9P says NFL is scripted. Jimmy will lose to the Seahawks so the Rams can play the 5-seed Lions in the playoffs. Also another Harbaugh Bowl for the storyline. Damn, 9Piece. You're on fire today. I'd like the Harbaugh Bowl. That'd be fun. Moises Rosales says, who would you guys bet for a Super Bowl winner if you had to put your life savings on and why? Life savings? Oh, Mahomes.
You
if it's life savings.
Go with Kansas City Chiefs, yeah.
Bolts versus Ravens and Bengals making the impossible.
Oh, I don't know that the Bengals are going to make it. That's a lot has to go right for them.
Dave says Grant going to flat back Talanoa on BB Court. I don't know what that means.
You mean neither. A little sketchy.
Kilo TW says Tatum Bethune has potential. What do you guys think? What do you think of a linebacker unit of Warner, Winters, and possibly Bethune could look like if it were to happen? Could be okay, but I'd like them to draft another linebacker like kind of high. Yeah. Bloodnut says I would love to get the sleeper app if they would give an over-under on how many times Kyle would get annoyed at Grant during a presser. That's messed up, Bloodnut. It's a fair question. Dave Barclay says, could I have bet on 7-10 if I wasn't in Montana? Not on sleeper app. That 0.5% chance for JJ is huge, Jess. Holding hope. Kilo TW says, since we already know Kyle and John won't draft any O-line, would it be a smart choice if they trade up for Abdul Carter or Mason Graham?
I mean, can't go wrong with defensive line, pass rusher, but I don't know, man. Maybe this is the year, guys, where they're going to go offensive line. They can get their new Mike McGlinchey. You never know.
Monty says, Grant, you go to school with any Samoans? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Especially at Montera Middle School, but also at Bishop High School. All day, every day. Kim says, Josh throws game-losing pick at no difference than Brock.
So basically saying it's the same.
Yeah, it's true. Weren't you just talking about basketball in Talanoa? Yeah, but you were talking about flatbacks and stuff. I don't really know what that means or what it
I don't know what that means.
implies. Yeah. Maybe it means something different in Montana. Is Kyle going to draft Scatty Boo? Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Yes.
He works out. He works out with CMC. So, he's known about old Scattaboo for a while.
Old Scattaboo. All right. It's 7:06 on the West Coast, 10:06 on the East Coast. Jesse, thank you very much for your time. I always enjoy doing a show with you. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Have a great night. Read a book. Eat your vegetables.